morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, men, women, children around the world. Good morning to everyone. May you have the best day that you could possibly have. It's good to be back. As said last time, I was going to finish part 3, which is today, and it's entitled "The New Vision." In parentheses, it's spirituality and religion. Before we start, click like, subscribe, share. A lot of stuff on the playlist, a lot of topics discussed on things we go through in life and just different ways of looking at situations in life that you might be going through. And it speaks on every issue. So, check it out. And that's another thing that I wanted to share with everyone, that in my videos I always explain that, no one should ever, follow someone and just listen and say that, what they're hearing, whether it be on social media, whether it be in life, that their word is the word, and they have all the answers. That's no one has all the answers, and I do it. I listen to people. I hear what they have to say, but each person has a key to life. No person has all the keys to life, because all those keys, they reside within you, the individual. Your truth is different from anyone else's truth in the world, but the one thing that brings truth into real truth, and what truth is that truth is universal. The laws apply to all. So, that's how I view truth. To get into spirituality and religion is kind of a hard subject, and it took a minute, for me to do that. And the reason I did is because, there's so many different religions out there. So I wanted to, speak in a way that, no matter what a person's religion is, they all can relate to it. Again, it goes back to that truth. What I wanted to get into in the topic is to explain the difference between, to go back for a second. What I'm going to explain is how, today's thinking has been reversed. It's been flipped, where we take words that mean one thing and we put them on something and it means something completely different. And spirituality and religion is a good point for this reverse in thinking. And in order to do that, I'm going to read to you what the definition for a spiritual person is. Spirituality. All right, spirituality, the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. Now, let's look at what religion is defined as. Religion is defined as the belief in a worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. And if you are religious, you believe in a religion, and if you are religious, the definition for religious is relating to or believing in a religion. So one verifies the other. So by these definitions alone, I know that I'm a spiritual person, a spiritual being. And by this definition, what can you say? You the viewer, what are you? Most people are spiritual, yet and still they find a need that they have to go into a building, they have to, be a part of a group, they have, that they have to be led by some mysterious person who's going to lead them to a super mysterious person. It's not to take away on what you believe, it's to say that mankind can't lead you to the doorstep of who your creator is, because all prophets, no matter where you go to them, they're all telling you, to pray. They're not telling anyone else, because that doesn't work. It's not saying, hey, you have to be here in order for this to happen, for you to get your message through. And this is what we're being faced with. But the reversal of what religion and what religious and what spiritual is where the biggest misconception comes from, because we're conceiving religion as meaning spiritual, when actually, spiritual means just being the best person that you can be. So even, I think with those words, even Jesus Christ was a spiritual person, because he said that try to be the best person, that you can be. So I believe in a creator. I believe in a creator, that creator created all of this, everyone and everything. There's a difference, however. I don't think that he created the bad. I think the bad was something that was inherent with the creation of everything good. And I don't know if that makes sense to everyone, but I'm going to clarify this. He created everything, and it's almost like, I'll give you an example for you. It's almost like you buy a house, and you add everything, and your house is looking good. Now you're working on the yard, you got everything on the yard, everything is looking beautiful. Now your intentions when you bought the house and how you saw and envisioned the house was beautiful. You didn't expect for the boiler to shut down. You didn't expect for there to be faulty wiring, which causes a fire behind the wall, where you got to get all the wiring ripped out of the house and redone. You weren't expecting that the tree was going to come down and fall down on top of your new car and on top of your extended garage. So you see, we all have good intentions in what we do, but then bad things are just, they're inevitable to happen, because again, it goes to say that nothing is perfect. So, to believe in perfection, we have to say that perfection is the common goal of good, the common destination of good. So, I believe in that creator. I believe in a person that's responsible for seeing things that we see and things that we don't see, things that are visible and things that are non-visible. And again, I believe that he created everything perfect, and it's through our imperfections, that we're destroying the home, our home, which is Earth, and humanity and everything else that's on it. And speaking of which, I want to take a minute to send condolences and prayers, as well as thoughts and well wishes for the people in Siberia, because over in Russia right now, there's a forest, I should say several forests, that are burning out of control. The fires are so big that they can't put them out. All they're trying to do is redirect the fires. Can't put it out. This fire's too big, unstoppable. Something has never happened in its history, or since they've documented this type of stuff. So they've never in their history have seen a fire this big. This fire is bigger than all the fires in the U.S. burning right now, as well as the fires in Canada put together. So this fire is almost the size, growing to almost the size of a state. So, and not a small state, a big state. So when we think about what's going on, we have to see that these things are happening all over the world. And we can say that we can look at it in a religious way, or we can look at it in a scientific way, but one thing is consistent: it's happening, and we have to open our eyes to it. So I hate to get away from that, but again, to the people in Siberia, my heart is with you, as well as the viewers who watch. Now to get back to discuss why I will not adhere to a religion or a belief system, and what I have found in others who has accepted religion or belief, and what they have in common, no matter the religion, the belief, that someone greater will deliver them. And this what ties into why my videos aren't being done every day, because you have people that are on social media, and there's an income that comes from that, so they have to put these videos out every day. But what they've shown me, and what I've always tried to say since day one, is that if you follow someone, you can get lost, and you can literally get lost in their thoughts, not your thoughts. And this is why I always walked away from all of this to experience life. That wherever you learn something from someone, wherever you learn something new, you have to go out and you have to experience it. You can't experience it behind a computer screen. You can't experience it behind a cell phone screen. You can't experience it in front of a TV screen. You have to experience life in some way, shape, or form, because the rules that apply to what's going on in the real world, and what many have taken on this, again, to go back to the beginning of how a lot of people are spiritual, but they'll say they're religious, that they believe in a religion, or religious Christian, whatever the denomination of the religion is, but their motivation, if you sit down and you talk to them, you'll see that the person is spiritual and not religious. So again, it's reasons why I won't adhere to a religion or a religious system, because they put conditions on other people, and I don't think that's what the Creator intended for us. I think that that's something that we incorporated ourselves, and we're at blame for this. So let's get back to topic. As a child, I was taught the Bible: read it, believe in it. The Bible is true. Don't question it. Have faith. However, I always took away from the Bible murder, lies, slavery, wars, starvation, and massive penalties for disobedience. So what I did was I learned what the actual words and meanings of the words meant. The Bible, as well as many religious texts, read very, very differently when you do these things. When you understand what the words are actually, what words are actually in that Bible and what they mean. When you read that Bible, you read any religious text, it takes on a whole different meaning. Real meaning that, if you go back to the earliest text from just history and come all the way up, it'll take you into every country, every land, and it tells a whole different story about who we are, how we came to be, what's really, really going on. And what I wanted to say about, people who belong to, a denomination or a specific religion, these stories have been taken and they've been separated. So a group of people got this story, a group of people got that story, but it's all the same story. And the reason why these stories can't come together is because that all these people who have the power over, billions and millions of people upon this earth aren't willing to let that power go. So, when you think that it's really about you and being close to the Creator and you're part of a religious group, no. You are at the will and you are at the mercy of that religious group, even if it goes against what you believe, what you're reading in your religious text. So remember, you can, go to your creator. A spiritual person, the creator's with him or her all the time, and you don't need a building for that. Just try to be the best person that you can be, because nobody's perfect. So we also have to take into consideration, the two aspects that, new discoveries, new archaeological finds, as well as the historical documents, as well as the bones and everything else. They're telling a whole different story. Civilizations are being found, new civilizations all over the world. So these things take away from a lot of the books that we're reading. So again, if you're going to stay stuck in a book, or you're going to stay stuck at a certain point in life, then how can you reach your full potential in which your creator wants from you? And the only people that are achieving that is people who are spiritual. Because once again, a spiritual person knows who they are, and they know their imperfections, and they accept their imperfections, where a religious person is held accountable for their imperfections by people who are imperfect themselves. Think about that one. So not all of them are going to make sense. To many, the average people, as well as scholars, agree religions today accept only a part of one religion, although knowing that all religious texts speak on a single story. And let me make this simple to end this for everyone to understand. We're familiar with the Church of Scientology. Then you will say that religion is a cult. Most people will say, oh, that's a cult. And the reason for this is the same reason that your response applies to the religion and what you believe. And the reason that we can say that Scientology is a cult is because we're living. So we're living during this time. So we can understand what the book that originated Scientology, which is the book called Dianetics, which brought forth that religion, was the basis, and it began this movement. However, travel 5,000 years into the future, all books of Dianetics have been destroyed or hidden. However, the book of Scientology remains and prompted as God's word. Hence, faith-based religion, whether true or not. Yet we believe because so much of our youth is being programmed to believe because our parents believe. So again, to go back to Scientology, it's fake because we're living in this time and era. So we saw how this thing came to be. 5,000 years from now, you won't know. And the people and the children that are born are going to believe this to be actual fact. So this is what we're going through, and this is the awakening that we're coming into, because all religious texts can't explain what's taking place right now. However, the history books surrounding those texts do tell a different story, and they do explain why things are happening, and just a different way of looking at the way things are. But one thing is undeniable: we all know something is not right with our belief systems. So I hope that explains my views on religion. I don't take away from a person's religion, because at the end of the day, it depends on who you are as a person. So I'm happy to be back, and like I said, I'll put videos out when I can. So look for them when at least once a week, twice a week. So like I said, everything is an experience, and to keep continuously put videos out there talking about the same thing over and over and over. No, every one of my videos on my playlist you can go to, and they give a sound way of looking at a situation where you don't have to think of ways to re-say it. So I want everyone to have a beautiful day. Sorry this took a little longer than what I expected, but like I said, religion and spirituality are things that people should understand about who they're watching and how they feel about life. So hopefully this will give you some insight on how I feel towards it. So with that, everyone, have a beautiful day. Be the best person that you can be. With that, everyone, peace and blessings.